Good morning, everyone. This is Kevin Guillory, Operations and Community Engagement Coordinator here at the Leeds Center. We're excited for a very special summer edition of our Dreams to Reality series. We hope everybody has a great summer so far. School is getting ready to start, so I'm sure everybody's getting ready. But today we have a very special guest who drove in all the way from my hometown, Lake Charles, Louisiana. Ms. Chaisity Paddio-Owens, owner of the Mortuary Center of Southwest Louisiana in Jennings, Louisiana. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for
having me.
for joining us.
Thank you for having
So
me.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm from Jennings,
Mm-hmm.
born and raised. Um, um, Graduated high school, Jennings High School, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Houston, Mortuary School,
Mm-hmm.
2007.
Mm-hmm.
In 2008, that's when I started working for a Cambry Funeral Home in Lake Charles. So that's where I started my career.
Okay.
And then I moved and been in Lake Charles ever since. So the funeral home is in Jennings because I'm from there.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So being a mortician, that's not a lot of things you hear kids say at career day
No.
and everything. So
No.
how did that get started with you?
Look, before I do, I have to shout out my kids, my husband and my kids.
There you go.
Good morning, Taylor, Parker, DJ, and Dash, and hello, husband. So, say it again. What was your question?
Hey, so you got to call at 8 years old to be a mortician,
Yes.
and that's not something that you normally hear at
No.
Elementary career days. So
Yes.
how did that seed get planted inside of you?
Okay, so I've always said that it was a gift.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something I was actually born with. God will give you that.
Mm-hmm.
So it sparked my interest like maybe 8 years old. So like things would die, like birds would die. I would try to bring them back, but
Mm-hmm.
when they would pass, I would bury them in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a murder in Jennings, unfortunately. And I asked my grandmother, I said, well, who take care of the deceased?
Mm-hmm.
And so she said undertakers. So I'm running around like telling everybody I want to be an undertaker.
Yeah.
Nobody paying me no attention. They think I'm talking about the rest
Yeah.
of the guy, okay? So, the older I've got in school,
Mm-hmm.
I lost a brother when I was 11 or 12 and I had
Mm-hmm.
learned how to braid hair.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went into the local funeral home in Jennings that was open back then.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in and braided his hair.
Mm-hmm.
So from that moment, I knew what school I was going to. I was 11 or 12. I don't remember the exact age. And I braided his hair.
Mm-hmm.
And then the journey just went on from there.
Mm-hmm.
And literally any one of my classmates can tell you that's something Shay has. Oh, that's my nickname,
Mm-hmm.
or my middle name.
Mm-hmm.
That's something Shay has always talked about since elementary school, and they thought I was completely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So until like in high school, my dad had bought my vehicle, and I put a picture of me, and I said "Future Embalmer."
Mm-hmm.
So I was driving around everywhere, and it was like, "You going to school for that and stuff like that?" I was like, "Yeah."
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, it's been 17 or 18 years. Already.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went to school in Houston.
Yes.
How did you choose the school that you went to?
Well, it was out of two that I knew of back then.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to start at Delgado in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But that's when Katrina had hit.
Oh,
and they had like problems and issues there, and I think they closed it for a little while. So Commonwealth was like, let me back up, because from when my brother passed, I knew of Commonwealth, but I didn't have any family there. But I had family in New Orleans, and my daddy was trying to push me to go to Delgado. But I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to Houston, and I think Commonwealth was the best decision that we could have made to go. It was a great school. It has the funeral museum attached to it. It's huge. If you ever in Houston, go visit. Yes. Okay. Yes. So
how many people were in your class?
What we started with and what we finished was two different things. So we started with like maybe 60 students, and we graduated with like maybe half.
So was it people wasn't ready? They thought it was something different, or it was?
I think so. At the beginning, you had to take. Most of us took general ed courses because some of us was already in the field and had to start over, or it was literally just me and another guy that was 18. Everybody else was older. So we wanted to come straight out of high school.
So y'all came fresh out of high school.
We came fresh out of high school. We knew what we wanted to do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Awesome. So what kind of stuff do you learn at funeral school?
So at Mortuary School, we learned it was the basic. It was general courses, and then after you pass that, then that's when you go into the embalming, the anatomies, the microbiologies. So I didn't have to take chemistry in high school.
Yeah.
It was called at Mortuary School. It's called thanatechnochemistry, which is death chemistry of how the body breaks down.
Oh,
so that's a completely different chemistry that we had to take. And I'm a science geek, and I passed all the science. Though the hardest part was like accounting.
Yeah,
like that
because they
was
teach you that
hard.
also. Huh?
Yeah, it was hard. I made a C.
Like I just want to get to the bodies.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But after I think your second quarter, that's when you go in and you have to have a certain amount of deceased to embalm. So we had an embalming facility on site.
Oh, okay.
So we would get the remains from the city of Houston, like people that was homeless, that
Yeah,
passed and stuff like that. So we would work on them and give them a dignified burial.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So you graduated in Houston, moved to Lake Charles, and so the funeral business is very family oriented.
Very.
Passed down from generation to generations. You don't have any, well, not here at least, funeral home franchises where you can buy into one.
Yes.
So how did you get into the business as basically an outsider?
Okay, so it was hard. So what happened? I graduated in December of 2007. I could not find a job. So I started working for it was just like a caregiving place. And it was one of my older cousins. She's still with us. She's like in her 80s. She knew the owner of Cambry. Her Marcus and her daughter were good friends. They went to school and graduated together.
Yeah.
So she placed a call to him. But mind you, I was calling him every day, every other day. I was getting on his nerves. He finally told me once he hired me, he was like, you was really getting on my nerves. So he was like, so that my cousin, her name was Cousin Jean. That's what we know her by. And she called Marcus, and I got hired at Cambry, and I was there for like 8 years. And I worked there, and then I ended up wanted to move forward, and I started working at Hickson Funeral Home, which was always a place where, so this might be kind of touch, but it's gonna be full circle. So you kind of know when you hear certain names of funeral homes, that's a black funeral home, and that the other one is white funeral home. And so I was the first black woman or black person to ever work at Hickson. Not because they didn't hire us, it's because we was not not told, but it was like,
it's already in your mind.
It was always,
you're going to go work
at
you're
not good enough to work there.
Yeah.
When I tell you that was the best decision that I did, I learned a lot in 3 months. And then I transferred to another funeral home and managed that funeral home in Lake Charles. Okay. So I kind of like, I got in with the culture. Cambry was more of retirees and, kind of the upper class, if you want to say. And then Hickson Funeral Home, that's a different bracket. And then, Fondale's, that's a different clientele, but I always treat them with respect no matter what, And so from there, I ended up working in Opelousas. So I traveled every day from Lake Charles back and forth. And so I just was literally, I feel that God put me here to lead. So I wanted my own funeral home, and I wanted to create a place where it is for everybody. So if you notice, I didn't name it after myself because I didn't want to label myself as a certain funeral home. So Mortuary Center is for everybody, and I have buried all types of families and people. There. So,
So going back to when you first got into the business, how long was it between graduation and when you started working at Cambry?
On my dad's birthday, that's the weird part. It's like 6.5 months.
Okay. So was there ever any in your mind like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing, or do I need to just leave and go somewhere else? So you were persistent. I
was persistent.
You knew that this is what you had.
Is no way that God took me this far. So the whole time I was in mortuary school, my daddy had prostate cancer. I was home every weekend. So I have a tattoo. It's a skull, and it says Undertaker underneath it. So I got it specifically. People be like, why you got that tattoo? But when I give them the story, they be like, oh wow, I get it. So my dad was really sick. Like I was driving to Elton. My daddy lived in Elton with his wife, and I was home every weekend. And so in order for me to finish, I was like, you know what? If I put this tattoo on me, I have to finish.
You have to go. Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
And so I did it. And he was able to see me walk across the stage.
Awesome.
He saw me get a job at Combry. He met Mr. Combry. And I moved. It's crazy how this went. I got hired on my dad's birthday. I moved in July, a month after his birthday. And then he died August 25th. He was my first body that I embalmed by myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And me and my daddy was close. I'm the baby girl out of like 12 kids.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
I embalmed my dad, and it just been trickling down. I buried one of my little godchildren, family, aunties, cousins, my best friend's family. Like wherever I go, they follow wherever I go.
Yeah.
So that's I really appreciate them. Like they, no matter what. So they're very supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So death is not something that we talk about very often, but everybody's gonna die.
That's the truth. That's one thing we can't be late for.
Yeah. So I remember one time one of the workers at my son's daycare, she passed away. This was in 2021, I think. So he was about 5. And so we were explaining to her that she died. And he's like, yeah, all my friends are going to die too. And we were like, well, no, well, yes, but not now, Yes. But it's not something that we talk about. And then with movies and Hollywood and scariness, and every time you see a mortuary scene or something,
like
it's something,
creepy.
With the cobwebs and the tales from the crypt. And all that stuff. I mean, that's what we knew growing up. Even though we probably shouldn't have been watching that at 12.
Exactly. And they have a lot of men that look like Marcy.
Yeah.
So when you get me with this bright colors on, I'm like, what? What do you do? I'm like, we surround ourselves with black, like black and white, or whatever. So I'm like, I have to have some color some kind of way.
Yeah, because it's so how do you change the conversation around death? Like you say, the colors and the brightness and all of that. Like, how do you, I feel like if you watch the news, there's a lot of GoFundMes every time somebody passes. And so I think, besides the money aspect of it, I think people don't plan for that because we think about it, but it feels so far off. And so how do you change the conversation and say, hey, it's okay to sit down and talk about when you pass, this is what we want, this is where we want to be buried and all of that?
Well, I have different events at the funeral home. I think this was last year. I had 4 lady lawyers that came and talk about successions and wills and succession wills, just kind of like the end, and then I kind of like trickled in with, insurance purposes and things like that. Or I have like these events at the funeral home that's called pre-need events. Even if you don't have insurance, you can go to a funeral home, pick the one that you would like, and then you would sign, and like you sign paperwork, and you would pick out everything for your funeral service, and then you'll pay monthly on it.
Okay.
So, I try to get into community. I try to talk about it on Facebook. I also, with my families that I know I have that didn't have insurance previously, I try to set them up. So if they're younger, like 30, 32, I wouldn't want them to do a pre-need. I would want them to have insurance, go speak to an insurance agent to where you can get enough, especially if you have children. You want to leave them something, not just a lot of bills. So that's how I get into the community. It have been some few times I went, I had church events that I spoke about that, or I give pamphlets away, just speaking about insurance, because it's a lot of the older grandmothers that had that $5,000 Union National policy. They're dying out. And then it's the next generation. So, that generation are now having kids early. And so if they don't know, I need to touch that generation right there to let them know, hey, you need to get something on them while them babies are little. So you can have something.
It goes personal finance, and it goes all back to that.
It goes all back
especially
to that.
If you have assets and all of that kind of stuff to think about.
Exactly.
So I remember when I think my cousin Shanice invited me to like your Facebook page like 2-3 years ago. And I was like, I've never liked a funeral home page before. What is this? This is different.
Yes, very different.
So I follow you. I see the stuff on Facebook. I was like, oh, okay. It's different. It's not what you normally expect. And so you actually did a camp this summer, right? Can you tell me about that camp you did?
I sure will. So It wasn't. It was an idea, and I'm in a funeral next generation funeral directors. It's a group, and they have these two young ladies that is in, I think, Memphis, Tennessee. They were the first Black funeral home to open there, and so they have been doing it since they opened, or maybe a year after they opened.
Yeah.
So I kind of reached out to them to get like little bits and pieces, and then what I got from them, I created Funeral University.
Yeah.
So I wanted to. I have 4 children. I have one that's 18. He has no interest in it at all.
Yeah.
I have she's about to be 13. No interest at all. And then I have Taylor, which is my daughter.
Yeah.
And Taylor, I think she'll be more of the funeral director part. She's been around me ever since. I mean, she watched me embalm at 4. You know, I kept the door open, and she had to come with me.
Yeah.
You know, it was the middle of the night. It was just me and her at the time.
Yeah.
So, and then my son Dash, he come running up in there and ask me, "Mama, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I think he's gonna be. He's not scared at all. None of my kids. I never wanted, and you know, I have friends that have children. I don't want them to be afraid of the deceased, because it's not the deceased you have to worry about.
Exactly.
So I wanted to create a safe place, but understanding the kids. But you should have seen how many adults wanted to do this. Like, they have a lot of questions too. So I might do something, because I know they have to work. I might do something like maybe twice in a month, like on a Sunday, and do something for them. But I really wanted to reach out to the kids to let them know, hey, it's not just a doctor, a lawyer, just like what we normally hear. There are forensic pathologists, it's mortician, it's just embalmers, it's funeral directors, it's vault companies, and it's just a different side of it. And we're rare. We're rare. We don't have a lot of people. So I end up having about 14 kids. I had one dropped out. He was like completely not interested. You know what I'm saying? But and I completely understand. It's not for everyone. And so the first day it was more of an introduction. I showed them about the casket, how to load up, few things. I did not bring them around any deceased, but I showed them how I dressed for embalming, and they got to dress like that too.
Okay.
On Tuesday, it was the forensic pathologist. I'm sorry, he couldn't come. I had a detective. He came and spoke about his forensic side and what he do. And then Wednesday, Ben's son's vault company, they came out and talked about headstones and the burial and stuff like that. And they loved the last day. I got we made like little holes in these silicone heads. So I taught them how to fill it in with wax. And then one of my good friends, Clifton, she's a makeup artist. And she came in to do the makeup, the eyelashes. Them kids love that. Oh, they love it. So that was the last day. Okay. And I prayerfully next year, with the support of my sponsors, I had some good sponsors. I was able to feed those kids some good food. T-shirt. They had T-shirt. They had awards day. They got awards and stuff like that. So next year, I'm really hoping and praying that I'm able to take them on a field trip to either the crematory or to the funeral museum. You know, the pathology place. So
okay. Awesome. So you're in Jennings.
Yes.
And you said you cover all of Louisiana.
All of Louisiana.
So what's the furthest you've done so far at your business? Farthest
I've done was Lafayette.
Lafayette. Okay.
And my move.
So
my move was kind of up. We get someone from Alexandria. So yeah. But even if I can service a funeral home in the state of Louisiana, but if someone passes like in New York or California, I can get them back home if they're from Louisiana.
Okay. So that's a whole nother process. What's that process like? Because I don't think people know, because you hear about people passing and they're like, okay, they'll send the body back, but like
what it takes to
you don't just use FedEx, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So when the person passed in whatever state, you have to legally be embalmed before you cross state lines. Whether if it's in an airplane or whether if you're traveling. So you have to, their family have to find a funeral home. So let's say they're in California. So but they're from Jennings and they want to use Mortuary or anywhere. This is the process. So they have to pick a funeral home out there. They're going to be embalmed. That funeral home has to file that state death certificate. Okay. So that's their, whatever that is, the family take care with that. And then most of them fly to Houston, and then I have my sister company, which is one of my good friends. He go pick up the bodies for us.
Oh, okay.
And then from the airport, and then cross state lines with the body and come get it. I can't go into Texas and pick it up because I'm not licensed there.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it has to be a funeral home out there or a transportation service.
Is that something you eventually want to do?
Who?
Get licensed in Texas?
Yes and no, because I made it this far without it.
Yeah.
But I did spoke about maybe last year after I opened with the Texas State Commission, and I just never took the test.
Oh, okay.
Just because I took the national.
Yeah.
The national, and I just have to take, in order to be licensed there, I have to take a Texas state law.
Oh, okay.
And so,
so you got to learn the law? Yeah, that's a lot.
My brain.
I was like, can I just learn this little? I just want to boat my put off in orange. Can I just learn this?
Learn about
this little part. I don't need all the Amarillos and Lubbock. I just need to know
yes. But I have a friend. Texas, I have Texas covered because he has a funeral home in Houston and in Fort Worth. And I have one in Beaumont. I know people in Port Arthur. So you get in these groups and you make friendships.
Yeah.
You know, and I have a good friend, Brian Myers. He's up there in Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
He did Angie Stone.
Yeah.
So we build a relationship in case I have people there.
Okay.
And he have people here.
Okay.
So you know.
So is there like an organization, or is it more informal relationship building that you?
What I have is informal, but it is a organization. It's Funeral Directors Association, National Funeral Directors Association. Something like that. I'm not a part of it.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I will be though.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have these conventions once a year in different spots, and you just learn to have vendors from embalming fluid people, peers. You have different hearses, different kind of casket companies.
Everything's a business,
funeral. Everything's funeral, okay? Everything's funerals.
So trade show got hearses and all.
Yes, yes. So I've never been, but I will join for next year.
So you buy, so hearses come already outfitted? Like you can just buy a hearse from a company that took the Lincoln or whatever? And...
Yeah, it was actually built for a hearse.
Okay.
Now, a van, I have it's a regular van, but I converted the back with the stow and go.
Yeah.
You can get these trays that goes in the back, and then you get a cot. So I converted my van that I bought. It was much less expensive than going by that.
Yeah.
And my hearse came from a lady, Miss Kim. I'm grateful for her. So my hearse name is Gracie May.
Yeah,
okay? 2004, had 40,000 miles, and she's still trucking.
Yeah.
So I got her out of Houston, paid cash for it.
Yeah.
One day I do want a green hearse, a Hunter green hearse with a black top. I'm get it one day.
Nice little top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're working in the funeral homes. In Lake Charles, and you went to Appaloosa. So at what point was it like, okay, I'm ready for my own. I'm ready to start my own. What was that process like?
So after like working for, different companies, I in 2019 was a difficult year. I got fired from one of my jobs before I started working in Appaloosa.
Yeah.
And so I've never been fired before. It was wrong, but that's another story. And from that time, I was home for maybe 2 months, and I just was praying. I remember being in just the room, and I was just praying, and I was like, God, I think it's time. And I put that pen to paper. That's all it takes. Put the pen to paper. When I tell you, I started writing about a graveyard. I had a crematory. I had a funeral home, and it definitely was the name Mortuary Center.
Yeah.
So it starts with that. And so I got hired at Fort and Joseph in Appaloosa, and I started driving back and forth. I was getting married that year in November.
Yeah.
And it was just entirely too much. I found I was pregnant with my son.
Yeah.
And it was too much. I stayed, and when I tell you I prayed every morning, I got on that road, I said, God, this has to be for a reason. So I took that time there to pray.
Yeah.
After that, when I quit the day before I got married, and I'm still friends with them to this day.
Yeah.
And so, because they understood. And I started, when we got married, I was pregnant. I stayed home for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
That's when my dreams start coming to reality.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I didn't have no money for this, and then just stuff started appearing and coming out of nowhere. And I wrote it down, and I did. The thing about it is, I did not have investors. Whenever people would say, "Hey, I want to help you, I want to do this," and then when I really was serious, they didn't show up.
Yeah.
So this literally, God made this happen. You know, this wasn't just only me.
Yeah.
My husband was with me every step of the way, crying, giving up. I didn't give up about 1,000 times. On this, you know. So it wasn't easy. But I knew I was tired of working for people. I wanted to create a place where it wasn't so expensive. I personally feel that funeral, because that's the last thing that a person have to pay for, does not have to be expensive, because that person still have to live. Yeah. And we can still make money off of it. But you know. Yeah. So yeah.
So how did you find your location in Jennings?
So I found that's the story there.
So you started out, from what I read, you were planning on one location.
Yes.
But now you're not at that location, you're at a different one.
And to back up to in that 2.5 years, I didn't give up. I was still going for the funeral home. I ended up getting my CDL, and I started driving concrete trucks. Yeah. So I was pouring concrete 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, hoping and praying like, God, I know you ain't got me here forever. You know. So but okay, so about location. This was new to me. I didn't have any help. So in my mind, let me go buy some land and let me build. Bought land. The land wasn't expensive. The building, trying to build a funeral home with the park, was like $1 million.
Then you got to do all the utilities and all that. Yeah.
No, it was too much. So the building that I'm in now, it is so crazy. So I saw it, but it was off the market. So this was before I purchased the land. I just gave up on it. You know? Yeah. And so my cousin April lived past my funeral home. And I was coming from her house. She had just moved there. And I saw it. Yeah. And I said, something told me to check to see if it's back on the market. And it was back on the market. I called my cousin Chaisity Rosette. She's the real estate agent, baby, in Lake Charles. I said, put a deal in for this right now, tomorrow. Yeah. And she did. Yeah. And I ended up getting the building. Now I got the building first. And I didn't have enough. I had to build up some more, funds to do the renovation part. Yeah. So bought the building. We didn't start renovation for like another 6 or 7 months. And so it was literally a process. Because if it was up to me and on my time, we would have been open since 2019. Yeah. But you gotta wait on his time. And so fast forward, did the work. It was empty. It was a church before. Yeah. So it was already gutted out. So I really went in there and kind of drew how I want things. Yeah. And then I took it to the architect and the drafter. Yeah. And then it just came, Mr. Derek Edwards, I owe a lot to him. He helped me. And I know he took, I promised, I said, just give me a few years. I'm going to just surprise you with something. Yeah. Because, he really took time with me, him and his wife, took time with me to make my dreams come true. Yeah. And once we opened, it was a lot. I had to do fire marshal. You had to do health inspector. Yep. You have to do Louisiana State Board of Funeral Directors and Embalmers. The city. I don't even live in the city limits. I'm about to say, was it? It's outside the city limits, right? It's outside the city limits, but I still had to go in there to get some stuff I needed. Okay. You know what I mean? Zoning. Yeah. So before I even bought the building, I knew that you want to zone something before you buy it. Yeah. So at first, it was not. They when I went in there, the neighbors did not want me there, and so they denied me. But they denied me because I didn't know what I was doing, or I didn't have the backup. Yeah. Maybe I went there a second time with a trail of people, or they passed it. Yeah. Because now I'm going up and I'm going to talk and I'm going to say, what is the difference than having a church there and a funeral home? Yeah. And it's not like we're living this close. You're like here and you're there. Yeah. And they have other businesses literally across the street. It's the animal hospital. Yeah. You have a tractor place not too far from there, and you have a church. So this had to be something. So I know this was when I walked in there before I bought this place. Me and my cousin hugged. Her name Chaisity too. We hugged and cried, and I said, "This is my funeral home." Yeah. Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so through all of that, the common theme that I'm hearing is relationships.
Yes.
Every step of the way, you've had people to help you and to guide you and to be there for you.
I might not have had money invested, but I had people that supported me, and sometimes that's what it takes to keep you going. It's like, this is me, and this is the support, and the support just come under my feet and just lift me up. You know.
A lot of people think, if I just had $1 million, I'll make it work. And this and all that. And it's like, that's what we try to teach our entrepreneurs is that you may not have all the money, but you have resources. You have people, you have talents and gifts that you can use. Like when you were waiting, you got your CDL and was pouring cement. You wasn't just sitting there and like, it's going to happen.
No.
So that's what's important.
And another big support is your cousin Shanice. I have to give her and her family. Like, that's my family. Her grandmother, her aunties, and
I'm her favorite grandson. I'm her favorite grandchild. So
she gonna get
I'm gonna say that. So she already know I was here long before she was.
Before she came, huh?
She tried to come in and boss hog away. Anyway. So you've handled 2 of my family members this year. I appreciate that because it's to lose family back to back in January and February was a lot. And then I saw the work that you did with them and picking up my aunt from the hospital and all of that, and I really appreciate that. And so that's why I was like, I gotta get on. I gotta, get your name out there, help you. And being in Jennings,
really appreciate that.
Yeah, being in Jennings is good because you right between Lake Charles and Lafayette. 30 minutes one way, 30 minutes the other way.
When we opened, we really had the support, and we still have the support of Crowley. Jennings is a small area. I'm there in Jennings, but I knew not all my business was not going to come from there. So it was good that I worked in Lake Charles and people remember me. And we also have a printing company. So we print different things, and so people remember me from being a mortician, and now they follow the funeral home page. And I have, helped a few of my, I don't want to call them customers. I don't like calling people customers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Family, because I try to be personable with them. Even in the funeral business, we're family. You allow me to take care of your precious jewel, then we family.
That's at the biggest time of need. So you're in Jennings. What's the future? Are you're looking to expand? You're looking to take over Louisiana? Mortuary Center of Acadiana, Mortuary Center North Louisiana.
Come on.
So you're gonna tap every market.
I like that. So I really would like, I feel that I have lost a few business. A lot of people in Lake Charles that I service by working at Cumbry is Catholic. Catholic doesn't allow, they don't allow visitations in the church.
Okay.
That's why I don't have a chapel. Now I do my pastor allowed me to use our church for my funerals. But that's Baptist. So, a Catholic person does not want to be lying in state for their visitation and then going to a Catholic church.
Gotcha.
So the first thing, once I completely, because I'm not fully done with the funeral home, I have to get another air conditioner there. My parking lot. I've been looking for someone with some grant. So I really need.
Parking lots are expensive.
Oh my God.
Even gravel's expensive.
Oh my God. It's expensive. Trust me, I work for them.
So you call one of your old coworkers. Hey, can you bring that cement truck to Jennings?
It's to a point to where I want blacktop.
They
can just go ahead and blacktop.
Just might as well the month you're gonna pay.
Exactly. I just want it to be blacktop to where they can be comfortable whenever they park. They don't have to, step in the grass or anything like that. So I just open with what I can open with, and then I'm building, I'm saving, And so once I get Jennings, I never was the type to just hop here and hop there. I want to finish one place, but my first, I'm going to Lake Charles. And it's not going to be an embalmment. So Jennings will be my main branch. So it's going to be a branch off of that. I just need a chapel, 2 bathrooms, and I think an office. And I can open up, long as that chapel has 30 chairs, which I would want to put more in there, at least 100. Then I can open.
Awesome.
One day, I don't know when, but that's one of my goals. That's a goal. With the property that I did have originally for Jennings, I do want to build like some affordable housing.
Okay.
And I do want a couple of dump trucks.
So you trying to have
I'm trying to
a conglomerate.
that,
Trying to be a
yes,
mogul.
Yes. So it's a few things I want
to do. Yeah. I think it's so cool that you bring such a fresh business perspective to the funeral home, because it's, I mean, yes, you have to like put your name out there and all of that. But like with a funeral home, it's almost the mindset of, well, everybody gonna die. They just gonna come to us.
Yeah. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like I said, the older generation are passing, and those were more of the traditional service. So we offer traditional and non-traditional. And what non-traditional is when you see when we might have the horse and carriage. I have a backdrop. I have the person clothes on display. You know, it's something that some people just want to be regular, have a traditional funeral. We do that.
Yeah.
Some people want a cremation with the funeral.
Yeah.
I did. It was one of my cousins. He passed away, and I had him in like an urn encasement, and his urn had horses on it.
Yeah.
So I like to be more of what that person. Let's celebrate that person and what they love. And my cousin loved horses.
Yeah.
So it was only right that horses leaded him to the burial site.
Yeah.
One of my I call her a friend. She came in, and she came into, I thought was just asking questions, and she told me exactly what she wanted. I was like, okay. I was like, you got a good 50, 60 years left, my girl. Like, okay. And then like about a week later, she passed.
Oh, wow.
So I literally remember she picked out all her casket, but I knew the stuff that I had at her funeral was not what she asked for, but I know her personality. She wore the eyelashes, the makeup, that gold dress. That was her.
Yeah.
So literally, whenever when a family chooses me, in my mind, I take like an hour or two just to plan out how I'm going to do their funeral service.
Yeah.
Most of that the family don't know that I'm doing any of that.
Yeah.
Like my family, I had like 2 weekends ago. She's one of my friends. I buried her mom. We had her, and I had a red carpet with rose petals.
Yeah.
And she was fat, baby. There was a queen.
Yeah.
So your funeral will be set like how they live or how you want them.
Yeah.
And I always add my own personal touches. Because at the end of the day, it grabs people's attention.
Yeah.
And they don't have that here in Southwest Louisiana. So I wanted to, and putting, some people are like completely against with showing their, the deceased on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I have my families, they sign a waiver, or they be like, girl, you did a good job. Yes, put her. Because I want people to know, to know, because I know that's what she would want. But if it's a no, it's a complete no.
Yeah.
I don't do it at all.
Yeah.
But they sign off on that. And I'm very grateful. We have a young lady. It was a tragedy of how she passed, and I had to put her in. So when you walk up to a casket, you normally see people where they normally be. You walk in the funeral home. In the funeral, and they on the head of the casket. Well, I had to flip it around and put her on the foot end because the trauma was to her viewing side.
Yeah.
So I flipped her on the other side and put a veil, and that video was like 100. It's 1.6 million views.
Oh wow!
People's like, I've never seen that before. I was like, well, I have friends, and I was like, hey, it's no way that I can tell this 14-year-old family that she can't be seen. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I went into mode. I talked to a few of my friends on what to do and how can I do it, and we made it happen.
Yeah.
And that's my true. I never got in this business for money. I never knew what we made. I didn't care what we made. My pat on the shoulder is when they come in and see their loved one, and they like, it looked like they're sleeping. Chaisity, you did a good job. They look awesome, and some of them don't even cry after because they look too good. They look good,
yeah.
So I really owe that all to Marcus, because Marcus showed me a lot. He showed me a lot. He taught me how to embalm. And like I said, I give that man his flowers.
Yeah.
Awesome. So,
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're
good, huh? I told you. It was good to just hear your story and hear where you are. And look forward to keeping the journey and following the journey and
Yes.
bringing you back and as you continue to build.
Yes,
so
and I don't mind
it.
any students if y'all would like for me to talk to them.
Yeah.
I'll come back and talk to them kids.
Awesome. Good
Yes.
deal. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. Have a great day. Try to stay cool.
Yes, in this heat.